He's interviewed Steve Wynn multiple times through the years, and he's here to give us an inside look at the Wynn empire and what these allegations could mean, not just for the company, but for Steve Wynn himself. Great to have you with us. We're just having a debate here from an investor standpoint as to whether or not Steve Wynn runs a Steve Wynn empire, or the empire in large part runs itself or is run by other people. What's your sense of that?
Well, listen, all of you folks know a lot more about business than I do, but there is no bigger name in the casino business than Steve Wynn. And he doesn't like to be known as a casino guy. He has always said, I'm a developer. And look, he's not standing still. He's building something in Macau. And remember, where the Wynn and the Encore are now in Las Vegas, it's a tiny part of the land. He has a huge development in the works that he has unveiled. And his name is synonymous, not just because that casino says Wynn on top of it. Steve Wynn is the biggest name in the history of Nevada gaming. He is synonymous with that. I don't know enough about the internal workings of the company and whether there's a succession plan or if it could survive without him, but he is the man behind that, and it's hard to believe that it would not take a hit if something happens to him.
Was this Las Vegas's best kept secret? In other words, was this sort of known in town and nobody ever talked about it? Are people going to give him the benefit of the doubt? How is he viewed in Las Vegas? Favorably?
Well, he's certainly very favorably viewed because he's maybe the greatest visionary in the history of this state. On the other hand, some of these kinds of rumors or allegations have been out there before. One of my columnists, John L. Smith at the Nevada Independent, wrote a book in which some of this stuff was alluded to. There was another lawsuit by a guy named Dennis Gomes that the Wall Street Journal mentioned, who used to work for Steve Wynn, who mentioned it. Of course, this is coming against the backdrop of an incredibly contentious and ugly lawsuit between Steve Wynn and Elaine Wynn, his ex-wife. But let's take a look at what the Wall Street Journal did. They said they talked to, I believe, 150 people. Those are good reporters, some of whom I know personally. It's going to be very, very difficult for him to get away from that, even though he has said he never assaulted a woman. That's not what that story says, that he assaulted women. The preponderance of evidence, not the legal term, but just looking at that story and the expectation that if anything else is out there, it will come out. Right. It's going to be very, very difficult for him to deal with.
Having known the Wynns, John, what's your sense as to whether or not Elaine Wynn is somehow behind this, that this is the product of a nasty divorce, as Steve Wynn has put in a statement?
I certainly have no idea. The divorce certainly is nasty. There certainly is no love lost between the two of them. But here is what I do know, is that in this new atmosphere of sexual harassment being a big deal in the political, social consciousness of this country, the Wall Street Journal started working on pieces just as we have and many other news organizations have. There have always been rumors about sexual harassment in the casino business. My guess is they started working on this story based on that, not based on being fed information by Elaine Wynn. But I have no idea if Elaine Wynn talked to them or they sought her out. I don't know that. But I would guess much more that it's against the backdrop of this discussion that's going on nationally about sexual harassment in various industries.
All right, John, great to speak with you. Thanks for your insights tonight. John Ralston out in Las Vegas for us. Well, how would you approach the stock?
Well, first of all, I think you should approach cautiously because, I don't think anyone here on this desk is being cavalier about what news could fall out from here. And therefore, I don't think that there's any reason to do anything. I think Deutsche Bank did a nice note after the bell, and they, to use their terms, we'd be out over our skis trying to predict what to do here. And they had a buy rating, or they have a buy rating on the stock. But I think the point is that the pullback in the stock now leaves it in a valuation where it's actually significantly cheap to Las Vegas stands. This news on a settlement was also out there at the end of December, but that the Journal broke the story today, made it, again, this is Deutsche's quote, made it more of an emotional response by the market. 30% of free float traded today.
Yeah,
and that says enough right there.